Okay, today we have a special guest, someone very young but already deep into serious programming projects. He prefers to stay anonymous and goes by STierProgrammer here on Discord. Thanks for joining us. Let's start simple. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. What about you?
That's good. I'm doing well. My girlfriend arrived yesterday, no, today in the morning, and yeah, it's nice. Can I ask you how old you are?
I'm 15 currently.
15 years old. So when and how did you first get into programming?
Well, this began approximately 1 year ago. Me and my friends decided to make a game for fun. But it turned out that game development was kind of hard for me because I didn't have enough math background to begin making a game. Therefore, since I had a new computer and I could play around with programming, I decided to start off by making simple games. And in the end, I started learning different programming languages and got into low level programming. My one of the greatest projects I could say is my Minecraft launcher, which I began in 2024 August. It was actually by accident because I was actually messing around with the Minecraft code. I wanted to change stuff and try to add my own things. And then I got an idea to make my own launcher because there were launchers that were free, but they weren't open source, so you couldn't trust them. And since it was kind of fun and I would gain experience, I decided to make my own launcher. I first wrote it in Java. Then, since it was a bit slow and I didn't really like Java, I decided to write it in C++. But in C++, I wasn't kind of experienced, so I decided to switch to Rust, and I stayed with Rust in the end. So this all began
That's
by
great.
accident.
Okay, by accident. So do you remember what first like fascinated you about coding? Like, was there why did it catch you so much?
Um, it was probably because of how complex computers are and how we kind of quote unquote made stones think because of how AI is evolving and how computers are built internally. It was kind of interesting.
It's cool. Really cool. Did you learn everything by yourself, or did someone like teach you or inspire you, or
I
along
taught
the way?
myself.
Like, cool. That's great. Um, mm, if you would like, if someone young wants to start programming or wants to start creating their own games, what would you recommend to them?
That's a great question. I'd say they should first of all be dedicated to it, and second of all, they shouldn't depend on AI because I've seen some people depending on AI, and it's called, if I remember correctly, AI pithole, where you make AI write the code for you, and you tell yourself that you know what AI is writing, but in reality you don't, and you simply do not improve. And you notice when you're improving uh, is that you do not like your code that you've written in the past. Because if you're
Mm,
constantly improving, you're going to see the flaws in your code and try to improve it. And I think the greatest way of improving in programming is to do. You have to be pragmatic. Because learning to code is just doing projects. If you do not do projects, you cannot learn programming. So more you do, more experience you gain, and more things you can make.
cool. That's a great recommendation. Um, you mentioned you're working on a pretty big project, like since August
Yeah.
2024. Um, without revealing too much details, can you describe what kind of challenge it is? Like, what, why is it so big, the project?
Because this project is special in many ways, but I'll name few. So first of all, I want to say that compared to, for instance, some other launchers, uh, my Minecraft launcher has user freedom. So what that means is, for instance, let's say you wanted to customize your UI entirely. So in most of the launchers, not most, in all of them, you cannot do that. You only have themes. But in my launcher, I created a thing. It's called the add-on system, where you can make your own themes, and you can change your own layout and make it look the way you want it to be. The second thing is, it's pretty fast and lightweight compared to some other. For instance, there is one written in Java. It's pretty bloated because, if I remember correctly, it takes 300 megabytes in RAM, and ours only takes approximately 8 to 15 megabytes. Um,
Wow.
Third is speed and performance in general. It's pretty quick. For instance, let's say installing Java, because there are launchers that make you install Java manually, but my launcher does it automatically, and it takes approximately 1 second or so. You can't even notice it. Uh,
That's great.
yeah. The fourth is it's open source, and you can view the code on GitHub. Also, it's a fun project in general because people will want to contribute to it. I already have few contributors that are doing some things. Um, and what could I say? I had a list, but I do not remember all the things. I can send it to you
I see.
later or check it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, you can do that. That's fine. Um, you said before the call, you said to me, you want to keep your work secret until you succeed. What made you decide to do that?
Uh, that's a good question. Well, my main reason would probably be that I do not want to people to see that I'm working on something. I want to people see the results itself, because in general people don't really appreciate how much you work on things. They more appreciate what you've done. And currently, I want to just work on these different projects, try things until I succeed, and then I want to share what I've done.
I see when people actually appreciate it,
Appreciate it.
basically. Oh, I see, yeah. Um, mm, do you think keeping things private helps you focus more, or is it uh, just because of the appreciation, or what?
Concentration, to be honest. Because when people know that you're working on something, first of all, you'll probably also get more competition. Second of all, people will kind of want to talk about it, even though technically it's not done, and you prefer to continue working on it before uh, you get asked questions, because it's kind of unfinished and you might not have answers to certain things. For instance, I've been asked by my friends, when will I finish it? And I couldn't answer them because I'm not sure. I'm working on it. I do not know what I could add and could remove. Therefore, it's better for me to work on this, and then after I reach some point, at some point, I will know when I can finish it and what is needed for me to finish it.
Makes sense. So how do you stay motivated if it get difficult?
Um, well, it's not about motivation. It's about love towards programming in general. If you have heard of the quote saying, "A person who loves walking will walk further than the person who loves the destination."
That's so true. I never heard the quote, but that's very true.
Yeah,
Yes,
S-
I see. So you love programming, and that's the reason
yeah, that's the
to
reason.
stay motivated. Yeah,
I love doing what I do.
yeah. That's great. That's a very good basis, I guess. Very good base. Um, what are your ambitions for the future? Like, do you want to start your own company, or do you want to work for like a famous tech company, or maybe something else?
Well, I'm thinking of starting my business and making my own tech company. Aside from that, in general, I'm also interested in mathematics, physics, science, and other things as well. So I'd probably begin with starting a tech company and then following it up with, for instance, a company that is focused on physics, engineering, and so on. Because using a computer to start a business is technically a new easiest way for you to succeed. Because if you do not have money to you wouldn't be able to start a business about engineering or physics. I mean, you can, but you have low probability of doing so.
Yes, and with programming and with a computer, it's an easier way.
Yeah,
You mean, correct?
convenient as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a nice plan. So if you imagine yourself in 10 years, what would success look for you in 10 years?
Uh, I mean, I have thought about it, but I have had different image of it. Well, in 10 years, I see myself to be a successful person and to have a huge company, which I'll be working on. In general, I like inventing things, and I'm hoping that I will make the world a better place by that time, and will invent new things that will revolutionize technology, mathematics, and physics in science in general. That's what I see.
I understand. But you don't you think you will have a successful company, you will be successful, but you're not 100% sure, like, what how much, like, how do you define would you define success in 10 years? Would it be like how much money you make, how many users your products have, or like how would you when when do you cross the line where you say, yeah, like, I'm successful, really?
That's a very hard question to answer because when I get told, for instance, when I'm told when will you be successful and when will you be satisfied with what you achieve, it kind of is a type of thing that I might not even be satisfied with what I get, but I'm satisfied to some point because I think about moving forward all the time. And as delusional as it might sound, I think that you can go further than your limits all the time. And I think even though people might say that delusion is bad, I think there is some line. At some point, you need delusion to you must have hope that you might achieve something. And I mean, people work hard; they do not give up. But that's not really something that separates winners from losers, and successful people from people that do not succeed. And I think the main thing is belief that you can achieve something and you can reach that point where you will be at some point satisfied with what you've done.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. So, are there specific people or founders or developers you look up to, like role models or something like that?
Mm, well, I could name few people. For instance, I really like what Steve Jobs has gone through when he started Apple. And he's also one of the people I look up to in starting a business. In general, I look up to people who are hardworking. They do not give up. They persist. They are persistent and consistent, and have the belief that they can achieve something. Because many times throughout my journey, I've been told that you cannot beat someone who has more experience than you. But I do not believe that, because for instance, when Apple started their company, obviously there existed companies that were far more experienced, they had more money, more people, but Apple succeeded and became one of the biggest tech companies, right?
Right.
So it's not all about experience and how much money you have, or how much people you have in the beginning. It's more about thinking outside the box, and how you do it, how much you love doing that thing, and how much time you devote to that thing. And I think that it's not all about experience or quantity that others might have, because if the
Mm.
world was built like that, we would always be inferior to others. But we're not. Everyone is unique, and everyone will succeed if they try to.
That's a really cool opinion. So I think you program a lot, right? So how do you balance like school, programming, free time? What do you what do you do?
Um, my teacher also asked me that, so uh, I do not have an exact answer to that, because I kind of do it subconsciously. I know when to stop and start the other thing. Um, yeah, it's kind of a feeling and comes from intuition. You have to know when it's enough and when you're not crossing the line. Um, Let me think. Let's say I'm programming and I have to do something.
Hmm.
Let's say I have to program some button that has to perform some function.
Hmm.
When I'm doing that, I also take into account that I might have to do other things, take care of myself, school, do other things, and so on. So it's kind of became a habit to know when to stop. For instance, let's say I have to do 50 math problems for tomorrow. I'd probably first do those math problems, not because it's not forced for me to do those. I like doing those, so I'm going to do them first, and then when I have free time, I'm going to work on this thing, because I still continue and have improvement, because all the things in life that you do count. For instance, let's take sleep. Sleep is very important, because it balances your health and helps you remember things. If you do not sleep, then that sleep might catch up to you, and you might not be able to program well. Therefore, your project might fail. Let's say another example, and I want to start game development. If I have math knowledge, it will kind of be easier, because things will make more sense to me. If I do not, it will be more harder. So all the things that you do, they all are connected and help you improve. Therefore, you should
Hmm.
know what to prioritize and where to put it, how much time you devote to it, and when to do it. And it
Would you
should.
say all the things you do help, or just the things you learn, like learning math or learning programming or applying programming, applying math? Like because you can also do a lot of things that don't have to do anything with that, like playing League of Legends or Minecraft or what about those things?
Um,
Do they help as well? in
I
your
mean,
opinion?
I think, in my opinion, they are also connected. In some way, they will be connected. For instance, let's take Minecraft or League of Legends. When you're playing League of Legends or Minecraft, you could also learn things from there. You could communicate with other people. You could learn new words. Because actually, I learned English from Minecraft, which is pretty
Ah,
funny.
that is funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
So
Yeah.
you can learn from things.
So, what do your friends or family think about all these things you're building?
Well, my family and friends do not really know all the things in detail. They know it on surface level, and they think it's pretty cool. And I mean, my real friends do support me in what I'm doing because they're also interested in programming or any other topic.
Oh,
Um, in my family is not really like full of programmers or anything, but they support me all the time and know that I'm doing this thing, and that this thing is somewhat special to them, even though they might not know much about it.
that's really good. Are you still collaborating with other programmers like in the beginning, or are you mostly working by yourself now?
Currently, um, we had more people in a mid. No, it was no in the beginning. I started off alone. Then I got at least 3 to 4 developers into my team, and then it was then now it's just two of us, my friend and me. So we work on this just by ourselves.
Why, out of curiosity, why did those other two people leave the team? Like, is it more like, do you think it has to do with it was you started the project, so you have more motivation for the project, or why did they stop?
It was about motivation because they said that nor did they have time and nor could they have motivation to continue doing it.
Hmm, let me see. Do you think it was motivation about the project or motivation that they don't want to learn more software development?
I mean, from what I've seen, it was more about motivation of software development because they had college, school, and these things halted the progress in their programming journey.
Hmm, okay. So, what skills do you want to learn next?
Well, I want to also start learning electrical engineering because I find it very interesting. Mm, Also, it might sound strange, but I also want to learn art because since I wanted to do game development in the beginning, I also kind of want to finish my first wish that I began with. I want to make a small game and do all the things on my own, just for fun and just to fulfill my first wish when I started programming. And there will be other skills that I might want to develop, but I currently do not remember them.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so mm, what would be one thing you have learned that changed the way you think about coding or about success? What's one thing you would like to share?
Hmm. I'd say that it would be about the same thing I've said, that you should love what you do. Even though you might not like doing it, you should make yourself believe that you like doing it. You should develop affection towards it. For instance, many people do not like working out because it might be tiring and very you might become very wary of it. But working out is important. And if you make yourself love working out, and if you make it a habit, it will become part of your daily life. Another thing is, working hard is never enough. Not even working consistently is not enough. Even working persistently is not enough, because there are people who work hard, who work consistently, who never give up, but they haven't reached success. The problem is that the thing they're doing is not part of their daily lives. For instance, let's say I'm learning mathematics, and there is my peer who is also learning mathematics. We're working hard. He's both are working persistently. We do not give up, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and we do math consistently. But the line that separates between me and him is that I think about math even during the times that I shouldn't. For instance,
Mm,
I might be thinking about mathematics when I'm working out, while he might just be working out and thinking about something else. So
mm,
this thing became part of my daily life, and the brain is programmed. Our brain is quote unquote programmed to make it a habit when you're doing something in your daily life. When I'm doing it all the time, my brain kind of makes it an urge to do it, while the other
yeah.
person does it when he has to. That's the
Yeah, yeah,
difference.
yeah. That's the difference. Yeah, yeah, makes sense. It makes sense. Definitely.
That's what I would tell other people. Because if programming becomes part of your daily life, it will become a norm for you to improve, for you to do it all the time. You might not see progress, but when you look back, there is huge progress compared to those who just do it because they're forced to, or because they because they want to, in a way that they only have to do it only this time.
Totally, totally understand. Yeah. Um, cool. So if you could give one message to your future self, what would you tell your future self?
My future self. I'd tell my future self that no matter what type of obstacle there is, no matter how inferior I feel, because I have inferiority complex. So no matter how inferior I feel, or how people will treat me, and how people will say I cannot reach something, I should continue doing it because I love doing this. And nothing should stop me from doing what I want to do.
I like that. That's great. Okay. Uh, Thanks for sharing all those thoughts. It's inspiring to see someone so young already thinking like a founder, like a senior developer, but kind of. Any like final words or advice you would like to share to everyone?
Well, first of all, I would thank you for this interview and podcast. Podcast, because it was great talking to you. And in general, you're a very great person, because I've been talking to you since, was it summer or spring? I do not remember. But when I first started talking to you, it was very great. And you've also got me helped me out with certain things. You also gave me advice, and also like what you do. For instance, Fastbell is very inspiring project to me, because it seems very cool and very detailed, and it's kind of focused on nuances. Because when I first saw your the first landing page, it had some flaws, but when I saw your second page, it was so much better than the previous one, and I saw so much like progress made on it. Because I only could find in previous one I found many flaws, and in the second one I only found one to two. Yeah, it was one to two, and that was very great, I think. And I really look up to your project and think it will have a lot of success in the future. And second of all, to people seeing this podcast, I'd like to say, whatever you're working on, Please continue working on it and do not give up, even though it might become overwhelming. Because I've been in such position. I'll say an example. So it might seem like a miracle, but I was working on Synth Launcher, and my code, it was like I rewrote it the third time, and I was writing it, so nothing was working at all. The code was broken, and it was middle of the night. It was like 2 or 3 a.m. and I was so overwhelmed that I wanted to give up and sleep. But for some reason I got hungry or thirsty and decided to stay up a little and continue working and trying to find why the code wasn't working. And by accident I found the problem, and after I fixed it, everything was working fine.
Okay.
Just because I decided to stay up by a few more minutes, I fixed that and it worked. So I'd say that
Right.
if you feel very overwhelmed, do not stop until you finish it. When you start something, finish it. Get till the end. And I'd say that when you say, for instance, I want to do 50 push-ups, do those 50 push-ups. Do exactly 50 push-ups. Do not do 49 or 51. Do 50. Or you could do more if you wanted to. But if you want to reach something and do not want to get burned out, do the amount you promised yourself and do not break that promise that you made to yourself.
Really cool. Really nice. Thank you also so much for the compliment to me. And yeah, um, thanks for being here, and thanks for being also on the server. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to how you will progress and how your project will progress in the future.
Thanks, you too.